Mauketo tul attu iamanau.
Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy.
Mokbu far kubi.
He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east.
Mokbu far kubi.
Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The Hoof Puff needs to be stopped.
Farfarifto tuka kubu.
Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity.
Fofo umbak bakwa papamu.
He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared.
Pilfov ugvuhu vobra boom.
Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Ikobe. Ifari kobo farmu.
He's happy to help.
Tulua ba volua.
Understands you have other places you need to go. The Gnote Pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again. She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid. Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark. But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going. Believes everyone needs direction in this broken world. Your only hope is that you'll end up in a good place once all this is over. Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be. She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least. She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still. Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like, until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here. She wants Lupa Lupin to pay too, even though she strongly believes forgiveness is the strongest revenge. Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones. The choices can be overwhelming, but you have to choose, or you just stay where you are. And what kind of choice is that? Hates to think of what's going to happen to all the Gnotes when the world dies. Nothing left to care for. Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out. Can't believe you joined up with the Jagni. They're constantly pecking around looking for things to swipe. Like starving thieves in a food factory. But let's not speak of that now. She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow. The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you. You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater. She's sad that something as wild as the Hoof Puff can't be tamed, but has to come to terms with the fact that you need to stop it. You found the Majut Meadow. Watch out for the Majut. Let's see. Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned. She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down. The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down. She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the cross. She figures the choosies from the old world are made from gummy trees, but wouldn't be surprised if they were actually made from some chemical concoction, though. Look at those notices on the board. Too bad the gnotes couldn't read them. If you wander around here, you might find Noko. She just loves those gnotes. Once the power ran out, it made sense to ride gnotes, and that tradition continued through the years. Powered types of transportation polluted the world, but didn't poop in the street. Obviously, they didn't have their priorities right in those days. Watch your step here, and you might find tracks of another traveller. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. Just a few moves left. Make them count. What you see is what you get. Once it's out of the blind box, that is. With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world mecha-Majut. If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That's not so far away. It's a seat you fasten on the back of a mount to safen up your ride. It can become quite bumpy and risky without. The Smilo Shopperia. Guess shopping here put a smile on your face. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Now hold on. You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the mechanism. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Noko. The antenna needs to be pointed in the right direction. As the eye box broadcasts, it's hit or miss, but when it does hit, it's usually right in the feels. Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of bonbon gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to ride. Nocco's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the Hoof Puff when you confront it. She's called them glitter moths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe. You'll find Mito at Bright Light. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths. They're small airborne creatures with bright reflective wings and a conspicuous fluttering flight. Let's see. With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it, and even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that. Figures that doesn't make it any less worth fighting. You've found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it? Hopes you see how much good you can do with power like that, and how easy it is to let it drive you mad. No matter. Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine? Figures that doesn't matter. You can't help but shine either way. Wishes you could see your way toward using your fire to light the way in the world, rather than burn it down. Whatever happens to the world, you shone as bright as you could. That matters more than you know. Thinks it's funny you worked with the Jagni. They tried to rob him once, but he scorched away any that got too close. Says if they didn't want to get seared, they shouldn't have been so close. Says he can see by the twinkle in your eyes that you're not here to talk about your allies. He assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you, as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days. There's something about you, like you're knit together. Your fate's connected. What you've said, he feels too. So why not call him Me Too? He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last, afraid that when night comes, it might be proved right. Believes no one is entirely dark. Even the worst have a spark of good in them. Mito says he's not only into those who shine bright, he likes things that glitter too. He reckons finding yourself a glitter moth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end. You really do need them alive. Dead glitter moths fade.
That's
enough glitter moths to make her plan work. She wants you to stop worrying about the paths you've ridden and focus on the inevitable road ahead, the one that leads to confrontation with the World Eater. The Hoof Puff is evidence of the duality of evolution, utterly beautiful and grotesque at the same time. She means that the Hoof Puff has had more time to eat at the root as it's been isolated in the Knoopstonies mountains. So, based on that alone, she reckons it has suffered as much damage as the northwest root that's hidden beneath the surf. It reminds her of the gnotes and, like them, it's hoofed. They're just a lot bigger. That sealed the fate of the third World Eater. Just one more to go. Out of Date asked to see you again to congratulate you and let you in on the final phases of his plan. This is your chance to get his priorities aligned with yours. Do right by your tribe and the world at large. Just head back to the Ark. He seemed eager to see you again. She wonders if the rumors she's heard about you finding the Ark are true. Thinks that's impossible, of course, but she also knows you regularly make the impossible happen. The Ark seems like the only way to escape this world now that it's officially doomed. Loves that you did your best to help the world rather than hurt it. You could have used much more of that, even before you returned. Any idea who might be joining you on your Arky journeys?
So, what we have here is an opportunity.
A conscious choice to be alone means you won't miss anyone.
The thing we're really missing here is someone with compassion. You just seem to have passion. For yourself.
The world would be a better place if we were left alone to handle it. Then we'd only have to talk to ourselves, and that's how you get the good answers.
Well, anyone in their right mind would agree you're better off on your own. Let's hope the Ark carries you all the way there.
Figures if she can't go with you, she'll just keep riding her gnotes as long as she can. Noko knows she's known for saying things over again. Wouldn't be surprised if you met again